So are we all just going to sit back and act like we don't see what's going on? If you speak out against a certain country, or if you go against a certain country, you're out of there. If you go to college and somebody that's a teacher or anything like that at that college says something against that certain country, they're cutting funding. Matter of fact, in the beginning of the year, they were talking about deporting U.S. citizens for protesting in favor of Palestine at a college. Yet we voted this same person in because of we wanted free speech. I remember last year when the left was talking about, oh, Trump's going to come out with Project 2025. I was like, yeah, Project 2025, let's go. Instead, what we got was much worse than what the left thought. We got Trump and Netanyahu in office, and Trump's doing tricks on it.
Massive ICE raids are happening in Los Angeles County, where I live, by the way. And I just want to say, this isn't what I voted for. It's what you voted for when you elected Joe Biden, when you let 20 million illegal immigrants come over the border. What did you expect to happen? You thought we were just going to sit back and take it? No. This is the course of action that happens when you do dumb crap like that. So just remember, when you're talking about, oh my God, Trump's a dictator, this is what you voted for. No, mother trucker, it's what you voted for. Thank you. Have a nice day.
This is exactly what they voted for. Hey, beautiful people, welcome to my YouTube channel. Thank you for stopping by. So all credit goes to the creators in these videos, guys. In 2024, when Trump became president again, so many MAGAs were excited. They believe that he will bring back jobs, he will make America safe, and he will put Americans first. And he promised to fix problems that has been ignored for years. I mean, the way Trump spoke, he spoke in a way that maybe people would understand, you know. He promised to fight for everyday Americans, to challenge the old politicians, to make the country strong again. And many of his supporters fell hook, line, and sinker. Even though he still said he was going to do some things he said he was going to do, but they seem to ignore that part. All they wanted was change. All they wanted was believing in somebody that would make a change. They believed Trump was the one to bring it. And when he started making the decisions that he said he was going to make, right from his first day in office, many of them started wondering that, was this exactly what we voted for? And from that very day, they started chanting, this is not what we voted for. And they started wondering, are things going to go as we expect? Guys, it is not going as planned, because y'all know what is going on months down the line. Let's see what these other creators have to say.
You ever notice how history doesn't just repeat, it adapts? Because if you listen to people in 2025 right now, you'll hear them saying, this isn't the Trump I voted for. I didn't know it would go this far. Sound familiar? Because if you've ever picked up a book about history, it should. It's not the first time people have said it, and we really need to talk about what that means. Because here's the thing. Yes, absolutely. There were Germans who said, this isn't what I voted for when Hitler fully seized power. But let's get specific so we don't miss the lesson. When Hitler came to power in 1933, he didn't run on a single clear promise of genocide and dictatorship. He ran on ending the economic collapse of the Great Depression, restoring German pride after the humiliation of World War I, punishing the corrupt political elites of the Weimar Republic, stopping communist revolution, and uniting true Germans. A lot of people supported those goals without signing up for what came next. Some of them literally said later on, of course, we wanted jobs and stability. We didn't want war. We wanted an end to street violence, not book burnings. We voted for law and order, not camps. Because they thought the radical parts were just talk. They assumed he didn't really mean it. Or they just figured it wouldn't touch them. But here's the truth they didn't want to face. Hitler told them exactly what he believed. He wrote Mein Kampf. He made no secret of his anti-Semitism. He promised to smash democracy. And he used fear and scapegoats from day one. So why did people convince themselves that it wouldn't go that far? Because they only wanted to believe the parts that benefited them. Because they hated the other just enough to look away. Because they thought they could control him. Because beating their enemies felt more important than protecting democracy. And when he took over, sure, some regretted it. Some said, this isn't what I wanted, as freedoms vanished. Some tried to distance themselves, and some just went quiet. But by then, it was too late. He'd outlawed dissent, controlled the press, dismantled the system that could have stopped him. Now look at us. in 2025. Tell me it doesn't sound familiar, because you've got people saying this isn't the Trump I voted for. I just wanted the economy strong. I just wanted the border under control. I didn't want camps. But let's be real, he told you who he was. He said immigrants were an invasion. He called the press an enemy. He praised dictators, refused to concede when he lost. He pardoned the people who stormed the Capitol for him. He said he'd be a dictator on day one. It was never subtle. You just didn't want to see it. And now we have actual camps in 2025. Alligator Alcatraz, a real detention camp in the Florida Everglades. Razor wire, surrounded by swamps and predators. Thrown up in 2 weeks to terrify migrants into leaving. Bragged about like it's a victory, sold to you as security. Is cruelty as policy, fear as branding. Exactly as promised. So if you're saying this isn't what I voted for, ask yourself, which parts did you think were just for show? Which scapegoats did you decide were acceptable? Which warning signs did you ignore because you thought you'd never pay the price? Because that's how it always goes. People tell themselves that the violence is exaggerated, that the tough talk is just talk, that it's about keeping order, not taking freedom, until it's too late to stop. And by then, there's no voting it out. There's no easy way back. So no, I don't want to hear this isn't what I voted for as an excuse, because history doesn't give free passes for willful ignorance. It gives warnings. And if y'all keep ignoring them, we're going to learn that same hard lesson all over again. That democracy doesn't die in a moment. It dies in a bargain. One that says as long as it benefits me, I'm going to look the other way. Until there's no one left to look and no freedom left to save.
I've seen a lot of the videos, and it seems like a lot of people are just yelling, and they're mad. They don't understand why this is happening. I don't understand it either. It's not what I voted for. I voted for the criminals to be removed. I've been to the trade schools here in Tampa. I don't see how we fill these positions. It's going to cause construction to collapse here. It worries me. I've got a solution. Get them legal status. Somehow, under a work visa, background check them. Do whatever you need to do to make sure they're not criminals, but let's get them legalized in a rushed form or fashion. That's what needs to happen. President Donald Trump, the solution, not the problem. We all know what the problem is. The solution is to not deport them.
Well, honey, you may need to update your voter registration because that is exactly what liberals have been fighting for like the last 40 years. Obama literally tried to do this with DACA, and Trump has done nothing but try to reverse it. In fact, this is his entire platform that he ran on.
Getting them out will be a bloody story. It had never been allowed to come into our country. If you come back, you will be executed. You will be killed immediately.
There was a bill to help with the border crisis, and it was a bipartisan effort. That means both sides came to the table. In fact, it was written by a Republican, and Trump said, vote it down, because we need a platform to run on, because this is a wedge issue, and fixing it removes a useful political scapegoat. But the real reason that people who have lived in the U.S. for 20 plus years, have raised all of their children here, and still aren't legal citizens of here is because they pay into a system that they can't cash out on. It's like free labor without taxation, because they pay into a system. Taxes are collected, and yes, they are. You can go verify this. They don't get to claim those taxes back, and they don't get to make use of the welfare systems that we have because they're not legal. They do not have social security numbers. Not only that, employers get cheap labor, which I can assume is your problem and how you're personally affected and why you suddenly care about this. Not only that, corporations prefer undocumented, therefore vulnerable employees. They're easy to exploit. So in short, the system all around profits off their vulnerability. So when you say this isn't what you voted for, that is incorrect. This is exactly what you voted for. You just didn't know that's what you were voting for.
Well, I also believe this is exactly what they voted for, because fast forward to 2025, they started noticing differences between what they promised with them and what is actually happening. They started seeing the immigration policy. But I mean, come on, this immigration thing, he never did, right? This agenda was the very first agenda that he put on the table, and he said he was going to do exactly what he did, right? And foreign policy, because Trump gave tough warnings to other countries like Hamas that created tension around the world. Science and education, changes to school and research funding worry teachers and scientists, and they said that it could worry students and innovation. So some people just said Trump was keeping his promise, he was standing up for America, and the other party said all the focus on argument, fight, and social media drama made real problems harder to solve. Hence, their statement, this is not what we voted for. Because on their part, they hoped for progress, safety, and unity. But now, all they are seeing is confusion, all they are seeing is argument, all they are seeing is division, all they are seeing is this shutdown that does not look as if it's going to be opened anytime soon. And some are split. They don't know if they should still remain loyal. They don't know if they should be disappointed. They are just confused, guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section.
No, this isn't what I voted for. This isn't what I voted for. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. You just didn't take the time to read his actual agenda. You didn't take the time to actually read the 180-day plan that those around him wanted him to implement. He won you over with his racism, and you didn't think it was going to affect you. Oh, now that it affects you, what about me? Now I want sympathy because it's affecting me. No, you don't get off that easy. You don't get off that easy. I want to see you put your vote where your mouth is. Put your vote where your mouth is in 2026. You don't get to now cry online, I didn't vote for this. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. He won you over with his racism. That's all it took. Oh, he's a businessman? Oh, he's a business... Really? Really? You're going to go with that? No. This is what you voted for. But like I was saying, before Election Day, you don't know what you are voting for. You didn't know because you didn't take the time to read. And then after the election, when he won, I said again, you don't know what you voted for. You guys had in your mind, oh, he's going to do this and that. And now you're seeing all these videos. This isn't what I voted for. Yes, it is. Yes, it is what you voted for. You're not getting off that easy with me. Greatness is here.
Oh well, only time will tell if this is really the greatness that they voted for, right? But I'm sure that this man is just being sarcastic because the Trump administration is showing them that promises sound good on the campaign trail, but leading a country looks more complicated. And this isn't what we voted for became a way for MAGA to express their disappointment, right? And it's reminding them that voting is powerful, but it comes with taking risk. And whatever you F around with, you are going to find out. Guys, let me know your thoughts in the comment section because in the end, right, everything was clear from the beginning because I guess people were just blindsided with the fact that they felt and they hoped that this will bring change. And some got what they wanted, right? Some didn't get what they wanted. And this presidency just is making the country think hard about what they really need from their leader. So much for putting America first, right? A lot has happened in this administration, guys. And the populace is angry. America is pissed and things are not going as planned. So many people are suffering, guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Is this what you voted for or you're on the other side? Let me see your thoughts in the comments. I really want to hear from you. And if you have found value in this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you in my next video. Please stay safe. Mental health is important. Ciao.